Alrighty, so we're going to do a little bit of playing around today. I brought my crossbow out. I got my PVC handmade bow out. I've got a slingshot, and I've got something else to show you, and we're going to do a little bit of shooting today. Alrighty, I got something interesting and special for you. Here's a 22. It's going inside this 22 converter that's placed inside of a flare gun. And let's zoom in on this target. And let's see what we got going on.
Still got your arm?
Yep.
Where were you aiming at?
I wasn't aiming, I was just shooting. Well, there you go. A 22 handgun made out of an Orion flare gun. Oh look, it says Peru, Indiana in it. It's made in Peru, Indiana. That's just 30 miles down the road. Anyway, I don't know if you can see that. It says Peru, Indiana. Alrighty. Alrighty, we're going to give this one more shot. This time I'm actually going to try to aim a little bit just to see what it's like. I didn't aim the last time. I'm going to try to aim for the center of that. And I don't know how far away I'm going to be, but I'll let you know when I get back. So I was about 20 to 25 feet away, and I did kind of aim for that center, and you can see how far off it was. So it's going to take a little bit of adjusting. This isn't something that's going to be accurate, but it is going to be a nice little survival item. Alrighty, so now let's move to this item right here. Now, I have a handmade PVC bow. Now, I've shown it on my channel before, so if you guys haven't watched that, feel free to go back and find that. But I love this bow, and I'm going to show you shooting it. Alrighty, here is my homemade PVC bow, and I'm going to be about 65 feet away. And here we go. So that's 65 feet away. That's not too bad. And as you can see, it's made of PVC, and it's fantastic. Alrighty, so this is the good thing about making all your own stuff. I'm actually going to shoot a dowel rod that I glued some feathers to the end. So I was about 45, 50 feet away, and that's just a plain, ordinary, everyday dowel rod that I glued some feathers to. Now, is it optimal and perfect? Of course not. But in a survival situation, I can use a PVC bow and a plain ordinary dowel rod, and I can hunt. Alrighty, so I'm going to use my SA Sports ambush crossbow. It has a nice little scope on it, so I can get back pretty far. I've already shot it one time. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think the video got it, but it went through that styrofoam target and into the wood. I had to actually cut the arrow out of it, or the bolt out of it. So I'm not sure if that's on film or not, because my camera has been messing up really bad. So I'm going to go back at least about 100 feet, because this thing is really powerful. So I'm going to go back about 100 feet and take his shot. Alrighty, so that's pretty close to where I was aiming. I went back 100 feet. The first shot was about 75, 80, and it buried a little bit further the last time. So we're going handheld real quick. We're going to go up here and we're going to take a look at it. And I'm pretty sure it hit, yeah. So you can see that it went through that piece of wood. What I did this time, last time I had this thicker piece of wood, and it buried into that, and it was difficult to get out. So I put the thin piece of wood and a little bit of space just to make sure. This thin piece of wood should be easier, but you can clearly see that it went through, clearly went through the styrofoam and into the wood. This is a very awesome and deadly weapon, and with the scope I can really shoot from a good distance. I was actually kind of aiming just a tad bit higher than that. I was around the 63-1 area, but there again, I'm not really worried too much about it. It's just taking me a little bit of practice and maybe a little bit of tweaking on that scope, but clearly an awesome weapon. So thanks for watching Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft, and enjoy the outdoors. Alrighty, this time I'm going to use a slingshot. I am not proficient in any way, shape, or form with the slingshot. I don't really practice the slingshot. I do have it for necessity purposes, and if need be, I would get proficient in it. I practice it rarely, but I do have it. So here is a slingshot, and I'm going to be about 30-35 feet away. Woo! That was a little off, but we'll adjust. Aha! Let's do that one more time. Wowzers. So anyway, even though it wasn't perfection, I hit the target twice out of 3 shots. The first one, I guess I'm just gonna rack up to needing to practice, but obviously 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Ask Meatloaf, he'll tell you. But definitely a weapon to fear, especially if I need to hunt with them, or even self-defense, you know, in a necessary situation. So I'm gonna go check out and see what kind of damage we did, and I'll get right back with you. Alrighty, so I went up there and checked it out, and they did not come out the back. They are stuck inside there somewhere, but that's definitely going to be good for small animals, if necessary, squirrels, possums, raccoons, you know, things like that, and also if need be, people. So let's go handheld here real quick, and let's go back over here and review everything that we checked out. So today I shot my ambush crossbow, which is by far the most powerful and I think practical, useful item, although there are some drawbacks. You know, it's not like a rapid repeated fire item. The slingshot, which again I showed, I've not used that slingshot before, as I recall. That's the first time I think I've ever used that, and 2 out of 3, that ain't bad. My PVC bow with arrows, and these are all junk arrows, including the actual dowel rod arrow, which this one here, if you look, I have it topped with a shell casing, and these are used for birds and squirrels and small animals like that. Doesn't necessarily kill them. Most likely it would, but it could just knock them out long enough to go get them. Especially, you don't want to hunt birds and squirrels and chipmunks with really sharp objects like an arrow like that, because you'll destroy the whole part. If you hit them really well, you'll just destroy every piece of meat that you would have been able to eat. So use this blunt item to actually take them out, and you're not damaging or destroying the meat. So, tip of the day. There's that. The rocks for the slingshot, and these actually came from the Dollar Tree. I like them. Let's see, let's move on. There's some bolts for the crossbow. And then we have the Orion Flare Gun 22, which again isn't really practical in the sense of hunting, because it's definitely not accurate, and it does only take 1 round, and then you have to pop that round out, you have to push another round in. So again, it's not practical for necessarily hunting, just because it's really not accurate. But as a emergency self-defense item, I give it a go. So Keith, what do you think?
It's all very interesting material. They're poor boy toys, which
I am.
if it kills you, you're just as dead with these as with anything super high expensive.
Excellent point.
And dead is dead, no matter what. For recreation, they fill the bill real nicely. Like I say, that's not expensive stuff. Any average Joe can do it. It's mainly for fun and entertainment, But like with anything of this sort, be very careful. Give it your utmost respect no matter what it is. And enjoy.
There you go. You heard it from the man himself. So we have the 22, we have the bow and arrow, we have the slingshot, and we have the crossbow. I think we did a lot of fun stuff today, so everybody enjoy. Thank you for watching Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft. Be safe and enjoy the outdoors.